It really wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that Zambians love bushmeat. But when you order a kg of unidentifiable goodness, you might just be biting off more than you can chew.
So the whole process of obtaining these animals from their protected areas to your plate is highly unsustainable and not conducive for consumption. Point is, you don't know what you're eating. This is one of the dangers of consuming illegal bushmeat. Another thing is how this meat is processed and transported. Again, someone that has been in a protected area is hiding half the time, will kill and process this animal for over a short period of time because they want to get out of it quickly and get it to you. It is most of the times concealed under bags of charcoal and maize for days before it gets to your plate. This in its own way can show you how how it can be susceptible to a lot of diseases. That, in a nutshell, is the danger of illegal bushmeat consumption. Legal game meat is free range and organic. It is processed with the highest of health standards, and the people that handle this meat are always in proper protective gear, making sure that the meat you consume is not only organic, as I stated earlier, but it is also clean and safe for human consumption.
I would say that legal game meat is starting to get quite popular now. Maybe a few years ago wasn't so much the case, but I guess with the right marketing and if we continue to apply the regulations in place, I believe legal game meat can become quite popular one of these days. A few of my customers started asking me about it, and it was from there I just decided to do some research into it. And it was at that point where I was lucky enough to find a supplier who happened to have some in stock. And then I also had to do some research into the necessary requirements in order to allow me to do so. So from one step to the other, I managed to have everything in place, and I've now been selling for just a little over a month now. So I managed to source it from an individual that I know who actually purchased it from a game ranch or farm, should we say. And it's quite important to stress the fact that this is how legal game meat has to be maintained. It has to come from a source where you know it's coming from, it's vaccinated, it's looked after. As long as you have those provisions and traceabilities in place, then you know exactly where you're getting your game meat from as well. And I'm sure there's a number of game rancher farms that have to follow these regulations and conform to all these provisions that are in place. I just started on doing puku. I've had some other customers ask me about different types of them, but I haven't really had the opportunity to find the ideal sources at this stage. With one carcass alone, I was able to butcher it and break it down into the mixed cuts, which makes an absolutely amazing stew. And then also the sausages, which I managed to make out of it as well, is very tasty. And then even the biltong that I made using my own unique recipe has become a big hit here in the shop as well. Speaking to some of my customers, they've been asking me for a number of different types of game meat, such as, I would say, impala, warthog, and even hippo. I guess over time, once I establish enough contacts and if I'm able to find the ideal sources, I think it would be very possible I could supply those one of these days. I'd just like to take this opportunity to commend all the various bodies and organizations that play a crucial part in ensuring that the requirements for maintaining the trade of legal game meat continues to conform, and that we are also trying to cut down a lot more on the illegal trade side of things especially.
The proper way to go about getting your proper documentation to become a legal game meat supplier or trader is by visiting the Department of National Parks and Wildlife, whose offices are in Chilanga. Or you could start with the Wildlife Producers Association. They have been very helpful in guiding people on what to do and how to go about it.
So, do you know where your meat comes from?